Hello, Sturgeon families. We are doing some learning together in this tutorial, just as we take a look at Google Classroom and do an overview of Google tools as they are used to support your child with the teaching and learning that happens. My name is Nikki Woodford. I'm the coordinator of instructional and assistive technology. And part of my role is really to support teachers with really good instruction and really good activities for your kiddos that include technology. You can certainly find me on Twitter, but for our purposes today, I'm going to provide some support and kind of guide you through some of the information that you might need to know around Google tools, but specifically Google Classroom. So I'll give you a little bit of background information. The G Suite for Education is a series of applications, tools developed by Google and specifically for the purposes of teaching and learning with students in an education. While it sounds very new and technical, we can take some of our previous understanding with tools like Microsoft as we kind of transition into these G Suite tools. So if you are familiar with something like Microsoft Word, a comparable tool in Google or in G Suite would be Google Docs. Same thing in Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets would be the comparable. In Microsoft PowerPoint, there are Google Slides. So really what we're seeing is just very similar applications, but they are very user-friendly. They're easy for students to navigate, and they're in an online environment, which means that students can access these applications and whatever they create with these applications as long as they have network or internet access. Now, the way to access these applications and these tools is with the G Suite account that has been created for your child. All students in Sturgeon Public Schools have access to an educational G Suite account. And their credentials will be their first name dot last name at edu.sturgeon.ab.ca. And then you'll want to check with your child with respect to what their password is. And if you're not quite sure and your child's not quite sure, then you can certainly check with your child's teacher in the school. Okay, I'm just going to show you real quick on what to do and how to log into your child's account. So when you are on your computer, it can be a Chromebook, it can be a laptop, it can be a desktop, it doesn't matter. You're going to go to the Chrome browser. And so the Chrome browser is just the way that by which you access the internet. There are a bunch of different browsers. There's Safari, there is Internet Explorer, but Google Chrome is certainly the best browser to access and use these particular tools. And so when you open Google Chrome for the first time, you're just going to want to log into your child's account, and you do that by clicking the sign in button on the top right hand. I'm going to ask for a password. Whoops, try that again. There we go. And now I can see that I am signed in to the top. Okay. Now from here, if you click on this little Rubik's Cube, you can call it a waffle, but that little 3x3 square there, you'll see that you have access to a quick access to a bunch of different applications. Quick access to Google Drive, which is where everything is stored. Think of it kind of like a My Computer place of storage. And then again, there's access to all these different applications. Where I will take you shortly is to Google Classroom. Okay. Like I said, if you have any questions on how to log in with your child's account, then please just make sure that you contact your child's teacher first, and they might be able to pass you or to get you in the right direction with the password. But the login should be the first name dot last name at edu.sturgeon.ab.ca. So Google Classroom, I'll give you a little bit of just information as to what this is. When Google first created these applications like Google Docs, Google Slides, they were great because students could create these things and teachers could create these things very easily. But what happened is that the exchange of these created files back and forth became very tricky They were either sent as kind of emails and you had to find them as attachments or links, or they would end up in the drive storage space. And so both teachers and students were often hunting, trying to find the right files that either a student shared with the teacher or the teacher shared with the student. And so Google Classroom was an application created to facilitate this exchange of files back and forth. And what it has become is this one place, this one-stop shop that students and teachers can go to get everything that they need for the teaching and learning that happens. And so instead of having to navigate to a website and storage space and email, really everything is exchanged and passed back and forth in this learning management system called Google Classroom. Okay? And so I'm going to take you just briefly on a tour of Google Classroom and what it would look like for your child. And we're going to take a look at a couple of things. The first thing we'll do is we're going to take a look at joining a class. Then we will take a look at navigating assignments. And then we will look at communicating with the teacher. So as we go back to where we've logged into Google, we're going to type in either classroom.google.com, or you can access it by just clicking on this little Rubik's Cube and you'll see the application right there, Google Classroom. Doesn't matter, you can get to that one spot the same way. Now, if your child has never been in Google Classroom before, the first time they get there, they might be asked as to whether they are a teacher or a student. They should identify that they are a student. And once they are past that, they will see their classes and they can pop into any one of these. Now, in most cases, the teacher will invite the student into the class. And if they've been invited into the class, you'll see that there's a little join button. And so the child would just click on the join to enter the class. But if a teacher has provided a code, there's a little plus button on the top right-hand corner that says join class. And then the child would enter the class code here. So you'll see that there is a level of security to these classes. And so not just anyone can go in and access the content and the communication that happens. So I'm going to click on join. Okay, and I can see once I'm in this class that there are 3 sections across the top. There is a stream, there is classwork section, and there is people. If I click on people, I will see who is exactly in this class and I can see who the teacher is. If I click on stream, the stream is very much like a running update of all things that are happening in this digital space. Think of it kind of like a social networking stream, like a Facebook stream. And so all the recent things go to the top and the less recent things go towards the bottom and they're just kind of pushed down. But certainly as things are posted by a teacher or even by other students, it is updated in the stream. And so if you want the most recent information, always just go to the top of the stream to see if there's been any updates. But otherwise, classwork is a really good place to go and you can find out there what's been assigned and what's available to you. Okay, so I can see here that under classwork, I have a few resources available to me as a student. I can see that there is a course outline and I can click on this to open it up. So if I were to click on that, it would open up in a new tab. And I also have a website. So my teacher wanted me to have a website. And so instead of having to search it and find it, I can just click here and it will take me directly there. But I can also see that there is an assignment for me to complete. And it is showing up purple. The other place I can see where there is work for me to complete is if I click on view my assigned work. And I can see that there is something here that I need to do. And in fact, it is due in a few short days. So I'm going to open this assignment up and I'm going to click on view details. Okay, and so the teacher has written and said, we've just finished reading the story, My Pet Monster. And now I have to design your own monster using the template below. When you are finished, be sure to click turn it in. And so here is the assignment that I have right here. And so I'm just going to click on it. and I see that there's a monster here and it looks like I'm going to have to do some designing for it. So I might move some things out of the way. I might want it to have a smile here and maybe a hat and maybe some ears. Oh, perfect. Let's move that over. Wonderful. I think my creation is done. And so once I am done, I can simply close this. I promise it has saved. And then here is the purple turn in button. And I'm going to simply click on turn it in. It's going to ask one attachment will be submitted. And yes, I'm going to turn it in. And that is how I both receive the assignment from my teacher and then I send it back. And so I don't actually have to go any place else. I just have to do it right within this assignment space. Perfect. And so now if I were to go back to classwork, I can see if I were to click on view my work, yes, I have already turned this in, but there is nothing else for me to do. And I can even click on missing and there's no items that I need to complete and there's nothing missing for me to do. Okay. So that is how, perfect. That is how you both join a class and you navigate the assignments within that classroom space. But there's one other thing I want to share with you, and that's just communicating with the teacher. Because not only does Classroom provide the opportunity to receive and give back, but there's also opportunity to just communicate with the teacher in the class as well. So one way to do that is in the class stream itself. And so when I open the class here, I can see that my teacher posted Happy Wednesday, friends, stay tuned for some fun learning today. And if I had something to add to this post, my teacher has given me the ability to add a comment to her post. And so I might go ahead and say, I'm really looking forward to math. And then I can click on the send button and it will send this post. Now, just something to be aware of is that on the stream, whenever something is posted by a teacher or by a student, it goes to everybody. So we really just want to practice good behavior when we're in this public digital space. And so we want to use responsible behavior that is here. However, there could also be sometimes when a student has a question about a particular task and they don't want to send that information to the entire class. So I might have a question for my teacher about this particular assignment. I'm going to click on view assignment. And in here, you'll see that there's a private comment. And so if I were to put a comment in here, this goes directly to my teacher and no one else see this. So I can say, I have a question correctly. Can I add different body part pictures that aren't already in the template? I can post that to my teacher and my teacher will reply. And if my teacher replies, I will see that reply there right underneath that private comment. And just so that you know the comment has happened, there is a notification that goes by email to both the student's email account and to the teacher's email account if a comment has been passed back and forth. So as we take a look back at Google Classroom, these are just some of those important pieces to know: how to join a class, either you've been invited or you enter a class code, the assignments, where to find them in classwork and how to see them and turn them in, and then just communicating with the teacher. Now, certainly, if there is a question or a comment that you have for the teacher, and you just want to send them an email, by all means, you can send the teacher an email. I would just highly recommend that you send it to the teacher's email that is at sturgeon.ab.ca. So it would be first name dot last name at sturgeon.ab.ca versus at edu.sturgeon.ab.ca. But like I said, this should give you a general overview. And if you have any questions along the way, please contact your teacher. But at the very least, this should help make sure that you have access to what your child has access to. It helps you navigate through this particular application, and it'll get you started as we move forward in this new experience together. Certainly, we here are in Sturgeon Public Schools are here to support and provide the best possible education for your kiddos. And we really are doing this all together as a community. And it's certainly an exciting time. There's patience that we are giving for each other, but it is an exciting time as we venture into this new opportunity together. So thank you for learning with us, and thank you for participating in the process together. Take care.